and that's what happens. Did the universe begin by chance or by God's creation? That's the essence of it. The universe began either from nothing, by nobody, to everything, or from nothing, by God, to everything. That's really the only two possibilities. It either happened just by accident or it happened because God planned it that way. That's the question. Let's look at the two models. Let's try to put them together. When I put this slide up, this is not an eye test. Please do not try to write any of this down. If you really want it, I can give you a copy of it later. But what we do now is we take the two models we've sketched. We said, here's a model, evolutionary process, millions of years, slow processes, gradually we get to everything we see. Or we take God created in 6 days. We take those two models now and we apply science to them. We say, okay, now, what do we find in the real world and how does that fit? Well, if you take the two models, you'll find that they all make predictions. For example, in terms of let's look at the age of the Earth. Evolution would predict the Earth is very, very old. Creation would predict the Earth is very, very young. Evolution would predict that as the animals progress through the process, that we should find all the links between various kinds, and we should find links between apes and men. Creation would say no, that men and apes are distinct creatures, and man is very different than apes. There's a whole myriad of differences that we could find in the scientific area that says that they are very different creatures. Well, we make all these predictions. When we make the predictions, then, we apply the science. And that's what we're going to do in just a couple minutes here. Let me just cover one other thing, two other things. First one is the models. I come down hard on people that talk about a model that uses long ages. And the reason is this. Biblical creation says man caused and existed before sin and struggle, death and struggle. That's what it says in the Bible, right? At the end of 6 days, God said everything's very good. Death and struggle comes in as a result of sin in Genesis chapter 3. Evolution says no, death and struggle is how we got here. Okay? It's through the process of natural selection, death and struggle is how we finally get here. Well, looking at those two then, if you use a progressive creationist model of long millions of year days, what you find is you've got death and struggle before men. And you've got an incredible theological issue, not necessarily a scientific issue, but a theological issue.